Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fly Like an Eagle podcast. Scott here, as always, and I got my boy Kyle. We're your two hosts bringing you Eagles coverage, NFL news, whatever we find interesting that week to you guys every single Friday. We have a lot to discuss this week. We got two preseason games since we last talked last Friday and night. We're going to talk more about Eagles training camp, playing starters in the preseason. A lot of things to cover today, and we're definitely excited. Kyle, how are you doing? How was your week? Just overall.
Oh, my week was great. I mean, I just got back from the gym not that long ago, maybe a half hour ago. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Obviously, I watched a lot of the preseason game yesterday. It was boring as hell. Everyone that watched it, if you didn't think I was boring, like I don't know what you're watching, other than being the most diehard Eagles fan on the face of the earth. It was just I don't know. A lot of these players I don't see making the team, honestly. But it was pretty crappy football yesterday. At least we won though. Other
Mhm.
than that, been great. Can't wait to get the season started. We have one more preseason game left. No starters, but we'll be ready to go. So that's pretty much my week.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a show rundown, just to give you guys. I think we're going to start doing this off of the top, so a little bit of a preview. See what you guys are interested in, and of course, if you find something interesting, want to share this with your friends. We obviously appreciate all the support on YouTube, X, Facebook. We're actually going to be having a Instagram page officially starting soon, so pretty exciting stuff. This is actually our 20th show since we started in March or April. I probably should know that, and I can actually pull that up. I think we started March 13th, and we're now in August, which is pretty freaking cool. So today on the show, I kind of already previewed it, and Kyle just mentioned it. We're going to talk about the Eagles' first two preseason games and recap that, and then just some notable things that happened. We are going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy and the just horrible, unfortunate injury that he suffered, and get into more detail about that. And does that the situation prove or impact starters, practice time, anything with the process leading up to the season? Just a little preview there. We're also going to talk about the Eagles' key roster battles and a little bit of a preview of our depth chart predictions. Again, the season is approaching fast. There's only one preseason game left. We play week one on Friday night, second official game of the NFL season. So it's coming up, guys. It's definitely exciting stuff. We're going to give a little preview, not like a full rundown of our depth chart analysis and predictions, but I definitely want to touch on it. And then we have an interesting story about Jalen Hurts and Jeffery Lurie. An interesting comment Hurts made. This was a couple weeks back. I wanted to bring it up in a previous show. It kind of got a little bit buried. We talked about a lot more things. So we're going to touch on that at the end, just like a little nugget. But we are going to start with the Eagles' first two preseason games. Won both games. Again, the most irrelevant stat that I could have started with. They played the Baltimore Ravens last Friday in Baltimore. The most notable thing of that game for me was it almost got canceled because there was a tornado watch in
Mhm.
the Northeast, South Jersey, Baltimore, Philly, New York area. And then last night they beat the Patriots. I think they won was it like 14-13? Again, like Kyle mentioned, the starters did not play. So we got to see. I mean, I feel like the most interesting thing about preseason is the quarterback,
Mhm.
because the quarterback always is in every single game. They touch the ball every play. So we got to see Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee both games. And again, I don't think anything during preseason matters. It's a little bit of a hype train. It's less because there's only three games. There was four before. As an Eagles fan, I remember so many camp standouts like Paul Turner. They didn't even make the team, but he returned punts for touchdowns, and it was nuts. And then you have preseason stories like a Dak Prescott. Obviously, he was way over, so fucking hyped. I remember NFL Network Bucky Brooks. He made the most insane comment for Dak's preseason. He's like, if they gave a Hall of Fame gold jacket for the preseason, it would go to Dak Prescott. Like that was just like the most cringiest comment. I get like But again, preseason doesn't fucking matter. The thing
Mm.
that does matter about preseason is getting out of it healthy and evaluating some of those players. But like I said, you could be perfect in preseason and still get cut. So like I don't
Absolutely.
understand. So
Mm.
what's your main takeaway from the preseason games? I know you saw a couple of standouts with our rookies, but again, you want to give your thoughts on preseason in general and just like the point of preseason at this point. It's to make
My
money.
no, my thoughts on preseason are pretty self-explanatory. Our depth, it sucks. Our depth is awful. So this means if any position on the offensive or defensive side of the ball goes down this year, we're pretty much screwed.
Wait, all right. So
So
what's the worst depth? Or like who are you exactly talking about?
offensive line, man. I mean, like I saw comments last night like you're gonna have to put Jalen Hurts in bubble wrap, which pretty much means that you're gonna have a great offensive line all year and pretty much have him run out this way, run out that way, try to just run away and run for his life pretty much. And you're not gonna win many games doing that. So you gotta hope that Mekhi Becton is really your guy because Tyler Steen looks like a bona fide scrub, as Stephen A. Smith would say. He looks awful and a pure bust in my honest opinion. So
What round
I
was he taken in?
Tyler Steen was, I believe, an early third, late second.
Again, you don't hit on every pick, so
Yeah, but I mean, he was from Alabama. Like any player from Alabama, especially an offensive tackle, should be good at this level. And this
okay.
guy can't even move.
Look at the Georgia defense with Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Nakobe Dean's playing better based off of what I'm reading on Twitter. I mean, the times I watched him, I still think he's going to get injured because he's too small. But yeah, I mean, you take anyone from Georgia, you take six players from that Georgia defensive team, at least two of them are going to be good, you're hoping. So yeah, Keelan Ringo, it looks like he's going to be the second string of the second cornerback. Isaiah Rogers won that spot, it looks like, which thank God, because Isaiah Rogers was the clear pick for that one. I think that guy is a complete stud. He's a complete natural. Can't wait to see him play. He's going to do great things on his defense. Bradbury looks cooked, especially at the safety position. We're going to have to carry his weight the whole year. Kenny Pickett, a lot of people want to say he looks awful, but in his defense, that offensive line could not hold up. He's playing with scrubs at wide receiver, scrubs at running back. The offensive line can't block for the running back. Kenny Gainwell looked horrible because they couldn't get blocks for him. Will Shipley looked horrible because they couldn't get blocks for him. It was a complete mess. I hate the preseason. If they could eliminate it to 2 games, that would be great. I hate watching it. I hate everything about it. And it only sucks more that we have to start with our first game in Brazil without having a snap with Jalen Hurts and Cam Jurgens on the offensive side of the ball. And I just feel like it's just a waste, and we're gonna lose in Brazil. It's gonna fucking
All
suck.
right, so I got a lot of opinions and pushback and to unpack there. Number one, so you hate the preseason, but I feel like you're giving it a lot of merit, like about position battles,
Yeah,
even though but like I don't agree because just because someone plays bad in preseason doesn't mean that they're going to play bad in the regular season.
yeah, it does.
We've seen that before, though.
If you can't play with goop in the preseason, you're not gonna play at the highest level in the regular season. Like you're not gonna do it. Like I mean, preseason is where you show your true colors
Okay, but
against
Brock
opponents.
Purdy, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, preseason's where you show your true colors, or you want to show the best potential you possibly can against
Okay,
lesser
then it does
talent.
matter to you. Then it does matter to you.
It doesn't because I think the games are boring. I think they're stupid. I think they could get you injured for no reason. I think they
Okay,
should
but
just
you want all right, you want the starters to play though, so you're risking injury.
well, apparently they're doing joint practices, so it's kind of like a game, like someone told me earlier. It's
Exactly.
not.
That should replace the preseason entirely, or just televise the joint practice. That would be fine. But it's a
Or just
money
that
making scheme. They want to sell tickets, but just do the joint practice on the field and sell tickets
they're
in the
already
stadium.
selling preseason games to the season ticket holders for regular price as a regular season game. Like it's pure robbery, So it's I don't understand where these owners get off selling a preseason game for full price when the starters don't even play a full snap.
Yeah,
I
but the
don't know where they
tickets are
get
definitely
off.
sold. They're sold cheaper by the season ticket holders. Like
Yeah,
they're
because they want to get rid of them. The season ticket holder hates the preseason. Why the hell would they want to go the
well,
preseason?
everyone. It's like the preseason is like for your like grandmom and you're like I don't even know what.
The
You know what it is?
preseason is
It's also for like the bus driver, like the trash man to like that sounds
That's
so fucked up.
up.
But it's like, it's like the Eagles experience. Let me see the stadium and I don't even know. I'm sorry I even said that. I'm like definitely gonna go to that all
The
day.
preseason is for like a grandma that died 300 years ago. Like nobody likes the preseason. Like you should just get rid of it. It's awful.
Now, what do you
I
think?
to make add insult to injury, I see these fans at the Rams and Cowboys game fighting. Why are you fighting at a preseason game? Like there's no
The
reason to.
people are drunk and they fight everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to get that belligerently drunk to enjoy a peak preseason game. Like my God, it's awful.
That is true. But also, do you think my joint practice idea is better? Like, do the joint practice like game or whatever in the stadium, and like that would be a lot more entertaining. You would see the starters. Of course, it's like
Yeah.
2-hand touch, but who gives a fuck? It's like right.
Yeah, but I think they would charge for that, and I don't like
But
that
that's
idea.
fine. It's better.
I
They're charging right now. So what's the
I,
difference?
I think what they should do is have a joint practice between both teams, sell out the stadium for free. I think that's what they should do, and make their money off of beer.
How the only reason they have preseason is to make money. They wouldn't have it, and also they want to just make them all regular season
Yeah,
games if they
that's why
could.
they're talking about getting 18 games in the regular season and lowering preseason to 2. They want to get rid of preseason. They're with me on this. They hate preseason, but they
Yeah,
have it
but
to
you
rev up
like
the
still
talent.
want the starters to play at least like a quarter, so I don't understand. Like you're on both sides of the fence.
No, I want players to get practice. I want the players. I want Jurgens and Hertz to have something together going into the season. That's
Yeah,
what I want at full speed.
that's what the joint practice is for.
Yes, and I understand that, but it's not the same as a full speed game. Like the preseason sucks, but you're gonna have to rev up. You're gonna have to get ready to the full speed of the game. Joint practices aren't that.
Yeah, but the now I know they always say like if you don't go 100, you're gonna get hurt, and that's probably what happens in the preseason because it's not a full speed actual like 100% game, and that's probably why injuries do get hurt. I mean, people
Yeah.
because they're overprotective. But it's a great segue, and I'm gonna push back on the starters playing at all. Again, the Eagles, like the past however many years, their process is to sit the starters. So now all of a sudden there was rumors of them potentially playing that first game that was shot down. You think because of how they finished last year, they should have done that, but we know what just happened to JJ McCarthy. And that is such like a worst nightmare for any team. And he looks promising in his like debut. And now, like, that is the most gut wrenching feeling. Of course, the Vikings weren't going to be anything special, but he could have just been exciting in general. And if you're a Vikings fan, it's like, God fucking damn. Like, that is just, it's the worst possible scenario.
Scotty, I'm sorry. I got to bring this up to everybody, especially you. If you're scared of your quarterback getting hurt in 3 plays during the preseason, you might as well not even play him during the regular season.
We saw
Because the
Aaron, that happened
regular
to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm sorry. Like, there has to be a time where you have to put these players and get them ready for the regular season. The regular season is fucking brutal. It's
What
brutal.
happened to Aaron Rodgers? How many snaps did he play last
He
year?
had a bad calf in that game in the preseason. They ran him out
Kyle,
there when he had a bad calf.
freak injuries happen.
No, he had a bad calf going into the season. That's why his Achilles tore. That's a
I understand what
difference.
you're saying.
Jalen Hurts is healthy.
Is he though? He's been hurt every
Yes.
year. He's been hurt every year.
Oh, he's totally healthy.
So like again, we need to savor his body because we know how he plays. Not saying he would take any major hits, but who the hell knows? I have
Scotty,
no problem with them not playing. Again, do the joint again. Maybe if we saw those joint practices live, would you have a different opinion?
Scotty, do you know who did play in the preseason?
I really don't know, but like
Jordan
Brock
Love.
Purdy,
Jordan Love. He played in the preseason. So he's going to be ready to go week 1
I
while
do remember
Jalen Hurts.
that. I do, yeah, I remember hearing about he had a good game week one or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, while Jalen Hurts is going to be rusty. We all know this.
Okay,
And
now
it's not
was
going to
he
be a shock.
playing? Was he playing like a second team defense? Not that it. I mean, it does matter.
He looked great. I think he went 5 for 5 with a touchdown on a
I'm
drive.
saying who was he playing a second team defense of
I
whoever
have
they were
no
playing?
idea. All I
Yeah.
knew is he was out there just shredding. And he's my fantasy quarterback. He's going to be a fucking stud.
Okay, I agree that it can build some confidence, but like I just don't think it really matters. Like it's again like the regular season is so much different. Jordan, this will be the biggest game of Jordan Love's career. All right, the playoff game in Dallas, yes. But you're going to Brazil, probably a place that none of these people have ever been, like 90, probably 95%.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a whole other experience. The Eagles played in the Super Bowl. So we have that biggest stage ever experience. So again, the preseason doesn't it just doesn't matter. Again, maybe building some confidence, but again, it's a whole different world entirely. No one's game planning for Jordan Love. No one cares.
I just think we coddle these players way too damn much for how much they're getting paid. I'm sorry. I mean, they should be out there. They should be getting ready.
Kyle, we barely get injured. None of our players get injured anymore.
Yeah, we just lose games at the end of the season because we weren't ready in the beginning of the season. And teams find the blueprint.
What do you mean we won? And we didn't play well, but we won in the beginning of the season.
So I'm gonna go all the way back to 2022. When we had a really good season, we went to the Super Bowl and we unfortunately lost. In 2022, Jalen Hurts played, I think, 3 series against the New York Jets, including a run-in touchdown. We went to the Super Bowl that year. Last year, he didn't play any series. We started 10-1, and we finished one of the worst records in the league and lost 7 of our last 8. This year, we're going in the same path. Why? I have no idea. It just does. This coach wants to make a difference. This coach wants to set an example. He's doing the same damn thing when we don't even have Jason Kelce anymore.
What path are we going into?
We want to go into a Super Bowl path. It's Super Bowl or bust. That's what we want to do.
As it should be, because that's our expectation as fans. Now, I hear people talking about last year's beating a dead horse, and I know that you have said you want to move on, but again, I'm sorry, you do have different opinions, which is fine week to week. It's the world. I'm not saying it's beating a dead horse because, in my opinion, that was the worst collapse in NFL history because you started 10-1 and you were considered the best team in the league. Remember the Chip Kelly collapse? They were 9-3. We were not the best team. We had Mark Sanchez as our starter. We were like the top team, and then you became the worst team. And it was just like it didn't even seem like real life. Like our jaws were just on the floor. We didn't know what the fuck to say. It was just like I don't even know, like melancholy, like a feeling in your stomach. You're just like speechless. Like it's just, what the fuck is this shit?
Garbage.
I mean, I just remember the Cowboys game, just feeling like we had no chance to win, and it was
we came all the way back, and then we let them get the lead again.
Well, that was like the first quarter we came back, right? Like the Fletcher Cox.
This was the second game in 2014. We were down by like.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Cowboys game last year.
Oh, the Cowboys game last year. Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, after that San Fran game, I didn't even go out to watch it. I knew we were going to get ragdolled. The team was done. It was over.
You want to compare the collapses of 14 and last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the major difference for you? Mine's that this team was just so much better and has so much more talent than the Chip Kelly team.
My major difference is that they're not setting an example. You got rid of the coaching staff from last year. You kept the head coach, which right now, as I look at it, probably should have been fired. I know I said he deserved a second chance because he went to the Super Bowl. I understand I said all that. But if you're going with the same route to start the season that you did last year, maybe you should have got canned. Because if we go into this season and we start 1-2 because you didn't give the guys any reps when Kelce isn't the center anymore, I'm sorry. That is a horrific job, and even I could have done that. So I'm sorry if you coddle your players a little bit too much. I'm sorry if we have the best players on the offensive side of the ball in the league to start the season, and they might not even be ready for Brazil because you want to go with the whole put the players in bubble wrap type of thing. I'm sorry, it doesn't fly with me. If we start off the season lackluster, we're going to be bullshit. Just my opinion.
I completely disagree because Cam Jurgens is not a rookie, okay? If he was a rookie, I would understand it. But he's is he a 2 or 3 year vet now? Number 2, no starters, very few play in the preseason, and the whole league is rusty. So it's there's not a competitive advantage. You could say the Packers with Jordan Love.
The entire league, including the world champion Kansas City Chiefs, are starting their starters tomorrow. Patrick Mahomes is playing tomorrow. He's playing tomorrow. It's like I don't understand why Jalen Hurts is on this level to where he's so great that he can't play in the preseason. Like I don't understand that.
Now, they didn't play in the preseason the year they went to the Super Bowl. Now we're
Who?
challenging it because of the way they finished last year. Again, I don't
No,
think they should
they
stray
did. They
away
did.
from what they
And
believe.
they did. They played against the Jets in 2022, and we had a great season that year.
Maybe you are fact checking me right now. I just know that they believe something different and they are successful. Like we can't deny that. They do a lot
What
of
are they
things
successful
differently and
at?
they have better results than other teams.
The only reason why we won 10 of those games last year, or 11 of those games last year, is because we had one play called the tush push. That's it. We weren't creative. We
We
didn't
didn't
do
have
anything
AJ Brown break a
spectacular.
we didn't have AJ Brown break a record or anything.
Well, AJ Brown also, like, I'm not going to bring it up on camera, but something with him and Hurts happened, and I'm sorry that could have had a big part in it. And you bring both of them back,
What do
yay,
you
awesome.
no AJ Brown broke that I forget what it was 150 yards and a touchdown for 7 straight weeks. Like what do you mean?
Yeah, and then what happened in December when we needed him the most? Completely vanished.
I agree, but like you can't deny that the only reason we won 11 games was because of the tush push. It was definitely because of AJ Brown.
Yeah, because AJ Brown balled out like he was supposed to ball out the entire season and vanished when it mattered.
Yeah, again, that's definitely a mystery. That was internal locker room culture, but the whole team did. Again, he's as our best player should rise above. We know that doesn't happen. Like if it,
Mm.
unfortunately, look at Justin Jefferson. Teams are bad. Like one player cannot do it all.
Yeah.
All right, so we do have some comments from Owen. Hi, Nick Sirianni steps with the tush push on 4th and short. Again, yeah. And
Because
it was
it's
Brian
easy.
Johnson
It's easy.
too. I don't think Kellen Moore is calling that shit. I really
It
don't.
depends it depends how close it is because it's pretty easy to convert
Okay, they called it like literally at
every play.
least 5 to 7 times a game
That's what I'm saying. That's all they did.
on first down, second down,
Yeah. Like what the
not
hell?
not even second and goal.
Hmm.
So that's it. Literally means you're scared, you're like not creative, or like you're lazy, or
Hmm.
like oh we have confidence in our O line. That's like the politically correct answer. Okay, like it's a passing league. You're putting your quarterback at injure. Like honestly, I would love for Saquon to try the tush push. I don't see why he wouldn't be successful at it. Now the real reason is a lot of teams were not successful at it like we were, and they tried to copy us. And I still love our O line. I know Jason Kelsey definitely like obviously he led the push on that. Like no pun intended or pun intended. Um but yeah, I think we could still be successful at it. Just like literally run it on 4th and 1 and on the goal line. Like what happened
Yeah.
to that? And then it's a shame that like remember that 2 point conversion? They did that one time and it was meaningless and never did it again when they
Yep.
like did that shift. And again, they actually did a shift in like a whatever the fuck it's called. Like I don't even know. They like changed a play.
Yeah.
They called it audible. They like that was like they never did that last year. Rarely ever. It's like any to confuse any defense. The one time they do it, it's on a meaningless play. They didn't even need that 2 point conversion. I don't think. Whatever
Right.
game that was.
And Star Force brings this up. I would also think that the whole team was gassed after we went through the gauntlet of the schedule last year. We couldn't make it out of there because teams were fighting us out. Well, here's the thing with that. All right, Star Force. I was at the Buffalo Bills game that went to overtime with our Kelly Green jerseys on. We won in the rain. Jake Elliott hit a beautiful 58-yard field goal to send it into overtime. And I'm sorry, after that game, I thought we were phenomenal. I thought we looked like a great team. I thought we were playing together.
It
Then,
was beautiful.
not even a week later, because it was a 4 o'clock game, and that was well, actually, maybe it was just a week later. Just a week later,
No, they had a
we
bye
get
week. They had a bye week.
we no, we
Or
didn't.
no.
No,
Oh, yeah, the Bills did.
yeah, not
We could
even
have used the bye week. We could have used the bye week.
a week later, we get our fucking shit kicked in by the 49ers who talk shit about us the whole offseason. So it's like that is something I'll never understand. Like, what in the hell happened there? Like, how do you fall off a cliff like that, especially when the Buffalo Bills were a field goal miss away from going to the AFC Championship game and we beat them? Like, I don't understand that.
Now, looking back again, we really have talked about this a lot throughout our whole series of our podcast. So I do want to move on to like current day. But I'm ready to admit the ball bounced our way a lot last year. And it has to win. Like, you have to get lucky with receivers dropping the ball, overthrows, fumbles. I mean, you can create turnovers on your own, but we know we like the ball bounced our way. And it's not bad, but if it didn't, we would have lost to the Bills and the Chiefs and whoever else where that situation did occur. I think it might be like a Dolphins game. Did Tyreek Hill like drop something too?
Tyreek Hill didn't go off that game at all.
I know that was probably our best game besides that pick six by Jalen Hurts, but didn't really end up mattering. But the Dolphins aren't even that good.
They're good on offense. Their defense is whatever.
They can't beat any good teams in the AFC. Like they're a good team, but they're not in the class of Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals this year, I think.
They're a good team, but they're not good enough to beat those three teams. Yes, correct.
All right, random thing real quick, because I think it's interesting. We don't talk about the AFC a lot, obviously, because we're in the NFC and we've literally went through all the NFC divisions.
Yep.
And we should do a big topic on the Chiefs because they are the king, like Chiefs Kingdom again. Pun intended, no pun intended. Like, who is your dark horse, or like who is gonna fucking finally make the Super Bowl besides them in the AFC? Only team to beat them in the championship game was the Bengals, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in a AFC title game and the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So only two quarterbacks, I believe I'm correct, have beaten him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, I think
the only one that can do it again is Joe Burrow. Because we can't say it's going to be anyone else till we see it, right?
I think this is finally going to be Josh Allen's year. I think he's the one to do it.
I think that he has some type of character flaw. I think he's an outstanding athlete, a leader. He looks good on like the fucking posters and representation of the franchise. I love his game. Mm-hmm. But did you hear what he said about Stephon Diggs?
He's not there anymore.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird, but he's not there anymore. I mean, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, he was there for so long. He helped make Josh Allen into the face that he is.
And they made each other, and that's fine. But the thing is that Stephon Diggs, he's a really good wide receiver. I get it. But he wasn't that good with Minnesota. He just flourished his game because he's with Josh Allen. You know, that's why he got the contract he did from the Texans. And now he's going to play with a good quarterback and C.J. Stroud.
Kyle, did Deshaun Jackson not make Michael Vick bigger than he ever was in Atlanta?
No.
What?
No. Michael Vick's game. I don't know if prison changed him or what.
You don't think Deshaun Jackson contributed to his Eagles' success?
He helped. But the thing is that Michael Vick, during that 2010 season with us, he played like a quarterback. You know, he stayed in the pocket when he had to, and he ran when he had to. He didn't just run. And, you know, that's why that was his best season as an NFL player. You know, full product of Michael Vick right there. It was his best season, hands down. Could have won MVP if it weren't for Tom Brady or whoever the hell it was. He was phenomenal with us that year. And I thought we were going to win the Super Bowl that year, you know. But
it was a fun season.
To say that Deshaun Jackson made him, nah, man.
If it helped, it was a big contribution.
He could have been a contribution, but...
Okay, so obviously Deshaun was released by Chip Kelly in 2014 and 2013.
Yeah.
Would Vic ever say a weird, kind of disrespectful comment about Deshaun? No, he's going to put him over.
No, he's laid back. He's laid back. He's laid back.
But none of our players did. They all loved him because of how good he was, or they thought he was like a good personality in the locker room or whatever. Even when he played for the Washington team, and Deshaun literally went like this, mocking us. No players in the locker room ever. I don't remember anything like saying, "Oh, well, he's not here anymore." Like, stop asking me. Like, they were respectful because he's the Eagles legend. Again, Stephon Diggs was there, but was it 3 years at least?
4.
And over that time, 4, like, Josh Allen is so much bigger than he was 4 years ago, and that he's your number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for you to make a weird, like, just say, like, Stephon, again, what Sirianni should just said, just say, like, Stephon Diggs is a great ball player. I don't want to say we will miss him. We appreciate him on his team. I'm gonna miss him as a teammate. Like, why not fucking say that?
Yeah.
That's what a leader does.
Because I think everyone and their mother knew that they had problems. It was a mutual
But you don't reveal that.
relationship
You don't
towards
reveal
them.
that. You don't reveal that. We don't need to know that.
Well, he revealed it when he was gone. It's done, and it is what it is. But it's a
They
Philly
had
thing.
problems. Sorry to cut you off. They had problems.
Yeah,
LaShawn McCoy and Chip Kelly had problems.
yeah,
LaShawn McCoy on Speak will still say, I had my best season in Chip Kelly's offense. Chip Kelly literally treated them like fucking shit and like
yeah,
craziness, but he still like says, like, Chip's scheme, it was great for me. So,
yeah.
like, that's what you need to do. Like, after all the
Mhm.
shit, he traded him away to Buffalo. He like ruined his career, and he's still like saying, like, well, like, Chip's scheme was good. Like, you have to fucking just be straight up.
Hey, you're a better man than I am because if I had problems with my player, I'd be like, go fuck yourself and move on. That's what I would do. But
I don't know. That's
anyway,
not what a leader does. That's not what Tom Brady does.
I guess I'm not a leader. It's a Philly thing says Tanner McFoles had a clutch game-winning drive. Nolan Smith was spectacular, had a sack. Avonta Maddox had a good game, had an interception. Brandon Smith had a sensational game, fumble recovery. Yeah, I mean these are players that
Thank you
Avonta
for
Smith.
telling us more about the game that we like didn't watch.
Yeah, it's a short summary for people that didn't watch. Yeah, I mean Smith had a good game. I don't know if he's gonna make the team. Vonda Maddox is obviously gonna be here, and Nolan Smith, I think he's a bust personally, but we will see. Tanner McKee, I do believe, I do believe that he is the second stringer at the end of the day. I think that
Now
Kenny
you loved
Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. You loved
I
when he
did.
was signed.
I did, but I think
Thank you.
McKee not only this year but last year showed a lot in the pocket for this team. And honestly, for a guy from Stanford who has brains, I'd rather have someone that looks more smooth with the ball and has brains over someone that has small hands and just can't get it right at the NFL level. I think I'd rather have McKee, honestly.
Yeah, I think McKee's a great story again. Very just like no one knows him,
Hmm.
underrated. Kind of like maybe similar to like a Brock Purdy. But for
Hmm.
some reason, like you said, went to Stanford, kind of like has that book smart, just very intelligent. Kind of
Hmm.
it's given like doesn't look like him, but kind of given like Ryan Fitzpatrick vibes. I mean, that if he ended up being anywhere close to Ryan Fitzpatrick, I mean, that would be a great career because like Ryan Fitzpatrick always had a job. I don't think he's gonna
Yeah,
be a starter,
yeah,
but you never know. Look at Brock Purdy.
yeah, it's true. I mean, Brock Purdy looks good, so I
Well, I
mean,
heard I heard he's struggling right now in camp and he's getting frustrated. But again, I don't know what that means.
not much.
I also heard just to go to the camp battles a little bit. I heard that is it our center from the Falcons, Matt Hennessy, has really brought nothing to the table. Again, you mentioned Tyler Steen.
Hmm.
Again, that ideally he was the next. Again, they're giving him this opportunity because he was such a high draft pick by Howie, and you kind of have to. But again, you're not going to hit on every player. We've had a pretty decent draft history. Now, if this draft is not good, then we have a problem because we invested a lot of assets into this draft. I do think Quinyon Mitchell should be a very, very good player. The rest of them are an unknown. I know you like Hunt. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. looks really good,
Mm.
and we don't talk about him enough because I don't know if we expect him to be good because of his last name, but he was a fifth round pick. Like he's
Mhm.
playing better than a fifth round pick. Um, and then Cooper
Fourth.
DeJean, I'm fourth. You're right. Was he fourth? I thought he was fifth.
Yep. Early fourth.
And then Cooper DeJean, I'm like totally pulling for the kid. At first, I was confused, and I'm like, but like he's a great story, and he's kind of like a rarity in the NFL. Kind of like they didn't play defense, but like Julian Edelman, Danny Woodhead, Danny Amendola. Of course, you have who's the Vikings white safety for years that was really good.
The Vikings white safety.
Someone in the comments help us out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
anyone else on. I mean, yeah, like I just think he could has a great story. Um, I don't know. I really want. He needs to be a contributor. Like your first and second round picks need to be a contributor, or you didn't have a good draft, unless you draft like your franchise quarterback in the first round, nothing else matters.
Mm.
Or if this guy becomes like, I don't even know, I'm not going to say Deion Sanders, like that's not fucking realistic, but just like a really good Pro Bowl corner, then the draft's not a fail. And it's not a fail. That's not what I'm saying. But, again, Tyler Steen, it is what it is. Now, someone else is probably going to win that job unless Howie Roseman is stubborn. I wouldn't be stubborn about it, though. I would put the best players on the field, no matter where they came from, who they are. So I feel bad that I don't freaking know. But who is going to be our new left guard if it's not Tyler Steen?
Well, if it's not Tyler Steen, it's gonna be what's his face? I just had his name. Isn't
It's
it?
not
It's
Nick
Beck.
Gates.
No, it's Becton, Mekhi Becton
I think,
from the
yeah.
Jets. From the Jets.
We just picked him up, right?
Yeah, just picked him up. He couldn't do anything with the Jets, so we picked him up. We gave him a shot, and he already won the starting job.
Wait, why can I not find his name on here?
Yeah, he had problems with
Okay,
the
there.
Jets.
Now he's listed as a tackle
Mhm.
on Wikipedia. He's young. He's 25. He was a former first-round pick 4 years ago. We don't have good history of bringing in these kind of first-round busts. Like I remember, like Chance Warmack,
Yeah,
King
Dunlap.
Dorial Green Beckham,
Oh God,
both from the Titans. Funny enough.
King
So,
Dunlap.
he was from the Chargers, but I think he wasn't an early round pick, was he?
I think he was. I think Dunlap was a first round pick.
Who else is someone that we brought in that was like a first round bust, and we kind of they just didn't do anything?
Oh, Danny Watkins.
I meant like he was drafted by another team.
Oh, by another team. There have been a couple.
Like I said, Dorial. So, but my point is, and again, I feel like we're overly concerned now. Like, is the Jeff Stoutland school, or was Jason Kelsey the main catalyst for teaching these offensive linemen?
Yeah.
Again, like Jeff Stoutland is one of the best offensive line coaches ever. Just because one player, for whatever reason, not everything's going to work out. But again, I'm kind of weary that we can just plug this guy in and he's going to be, a great starter. But again, no one's offensive line is like full of studs. Like it's impossible. Right. Now we have had that in the past. Like last year was crazy when we had Isaac Seumalo and we had Big V. Like Jason Peters went down, and he was playing like Jason Peters. That's
Halapuli Vitae.
Yep. Yeah, Big V. Yeah.
Yep.
Like we're not gonna have that, but again, like it is what it is. We're paying $1 million quarterback. Our weapons are insane. Saquon, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. We have Darius Slay. On our rest of our offensive line is obviously amazing. You brought in CJ Gardner-Johnson. You have Jalen Carter. He's on a rookie deal. I'm saying the money is spread around. So again, there's going to be holes on your roster. I'd rather it be a guard than a tackle. Now, it's a little concerning Cam Jurgens and Becton, if that is what it is, because 2 new positions, but it's the NFL. So what are your thoughts on, you said you're worried about the guard spot?
Of course I'm worried about the guard spot, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to the coaches. And Stoutland, we have one of the best offensive line coaches in probably NFL history. So I'm not as worried about the starters on the offensive line. I'm worried about the depth, because from what I've seen recently, I don't like what I'm seeing from our second stringers on the field. I really don't, and it's worrisome, especially when you have Jalen Hurts, who's trying to develop his game even more, and it's tough to do, especially when you have different voices in your ear every single year, and you need a good offensive line. And if you don't have a good offensive line, you're screwed. So I mean, yeah, I'm a little worried about it, but we'll see what happens. I'll put it up to Stoutland, and he hasn't failed yet. So.
I agree with what you're saying. Again, like I said, you're not going to have the best depth like everywhere on your team. Now, again, that's why the starters shouldn't play in preseason, because I don't want to take any chances of a wrong fucking step, a trip, anything, because we need all those guys. Now, what I will say is a random thought. I think the Eagles will be active at the trade deadline this year. I believe the trade deadline was pushed back a week or two. I don't know if that starts this season or next season. I think it's this season,
Yeah,
which is going to be fun. I mean, they could make that so much bigger. Like
it's
they
gonna be
should
a
make the
blast.
trade. They should make the trade deadline or something like free agency. Like
Yep.
that would just do amazing numbers. Like a 2 week, I don't even know, 2 week frenzy, or like you have to trade within this time of the season.
Yep.
And I think we're going to be active. I think we have trade bait if an O lineman goes down. Now O linemen are scarce in general. Look at the Giants; they still haven't fixed their O line
Oh, they
since
suck. My
like
God.
2015. So we know they don't grow on trees.
Yeah.
But I think we have like depth in the secondary. Like if James Bradbury shows any type of like okayness, I think he could be a trade piece. I don't know who's going to take on his contract, but that's something.
Mm.
Anyone else that you see? I mean, unfortunately, I don't even know. I don't even know. God forbid, like a Jordan Davis. I'm thinking of more like Milton Williams, like people like a little bit lower. But that's all we need. We want to trade a backup for a backup because maybe
Yeah.
like but we could get a better backup O lineman, and we don't need this third or fourth defensive lineman. You know
Or
what I
maybe
mean?
we could, or maybe we could get a starter from a team that isn't doing great, and we could put Stoutland, and coach him, and
Yeah,
maybe he could turn into what he was.
but that's what we're doing with the guy from the Jets that we
Becton,
just.
yeah, Mekhi Becton, yep,
That's what we're trying to do.
right.
So
But I mean, when it comes to like free agent, like the trade deadline, I don't want to trade a backup just to trade for a backup. I want a backup with potential, just because they have bad coaching on the other team, and we have good coaching. We could fix that player, and he could turn into something good. That's what I
now
want.
my only concern is, and I know they're so close, I think Jason Kelsey really, he's Jeff Stoutland's protege, right hand man. Like
Could be.
seriously. I think he literally taught every rookie, every new player, and he's just so likable in the camaraderie and making everyone feel comfortable.
Mm,
That's my biggest concern. Not even his play on the field, but him being in the locker room with the O lineman. I think there is some salt to that.
mm.
And it's been interesting because he's been at training camp. Apparently, he's lost a lot of weight recently. I haven't seen any pictures of him. Good for him. I'm so happy that he is getting the recognition as a center. He's breaking fucking barriers. He's so popular. He's so likable.
Yeah.
Now, I think he's going to be in our locker room. I don't know how that's allowed. I think they would just have to sign him as like a consultant. I don't know if that works
They
with.
would have to. They would have to
He's
do
working for ESPN too, so I don't think that's possible.
well. They would have to. They would have to do a position like B Dog had with us for the Super Bowl. They'd have to make him an ambassador, and I think
Yeah,
they can do that.
like personal player development, some title like that.
Correct. Yeah.
But I know he don't think he wants to get into coaching, but I think he like who wouldn't want him? Like he could be a head coach. Seriously. I
I
want
get
him.
it.
I want him in the O line room. I would literally like. Do you agree? Like he's that valuable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd want him, but again, we'd have to pay him as a coach. So that's something that
Go
they'd
with
have to
that.
go through. Like, he's not gonna do for free. If he did for
Of
free,
course,
he'd be
yeah,
like,
of
yeah,
course, yeah, of course. I'm saying pay him, but I think he's going to come in for free if he's allowed to like hype up or like I don't even know, make a team message. I'm sure they're going to show him on the stadium. He's going to be on the field. Isn't he being
yes.
inducted already or no?
No, Nick Foles is being inducted though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now the reason I think he's just totally not thinking about coaching right now is because it's his first season in retirement, and
Mm,
it's very hard to like be on the sidelines and watch it
mm,
unless you're like a backup quarterback that was used to doing that your whole career, like Kellen Moore. But you were literally in the highest level, best of your position. But he's gonna miss the game. He's gonna be on ESPN talking about it, and I think his mind and his personality and motivation skills are way too good not to be involved with a team, and that would be the Eagles. So
well, at least he didn't Andrew Luck it and stand on the sidelines with a shirt and shorts on while he said he was retired, and he's just standing there as if he's a player. And then as he goes to the tunnel, everyone's just booing him. Like that would have been fucked up.
oh, you mean that or like retired during the preseason?
Yeah. Imagine
Yeah,
how we would have handled that. Oh my god.
but the thing about Andrew Luck is like, he was true to his word. It's not like he's out here being in the NFL or like media. Like I mean, I don't know if anyone's heard from him since he did that.
No, he's actually an engineer. He took his degree from
He literally had a
Stanford and
flip.
turned
He
it
had a
into
flip
something.
phone. He had a flip phone when he retired. So like, he's clearly like just in his own world.
Yeah, we have a comment from Go Eagles 1990. Kenny Pickett sucks. Thanks. I mean, like, listen,
Liked
Kenny
him. You were
Pickett.
saying him over Hurts. Don't even lie. It's
I,
sick. I can't believe.
I mean, I liked a lot of people over Hurts when Hurts was first named the starting quarterback. I'm sorry, I did. I'm
What? No, I'm
guilty.
talking about this season.
No, not this season. I don't think
All right,
so.
you were trolling. You were trolling. Maybe a little
Yeah, I
bit.
mean, Kenny Pickett, I mean, he had George Pickens at Pittsburgh and he didn't even throw his way. So I don't know. I think in a
Again,
good offense,
I think we're
maybe.
scarred from Marcus Mariota's preseason.
Hmm.
Again, I'm not gonna, it's the preseason. I'm not gonna say Kenny Pickett sucks. Now the Steelers let him go, and now they're having a Russell Wilson, Justin Fields camp battle, which is like pick your poison. So obviously he's not a starter at this
I'd go
point, at
with
least.
Justin Fields, honestly. I would pick
No, I
Justin
think you
Fields.
have to go with Russ because Justin Fields lost so many games for Chicago last year.
Yeah, but they were
And
buns.
what?
They were buns. They were fucking horrible.
Besides him, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, he is the
So
most
what happened to Russell
entertaining.
Wilson? What? Because he was my third best quarterback behind Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers,
He
like
got
during
out of
that
that.
time
He
period.
got out of that Seattle system, and he turned into garbage. I mean, he just
Because they had
did
a good run game and defense, he didn't have to do that much.
pretty much. Yeah, he made all
He
the
was
right throws.
well, he was also so elusive in the pocket. He killed us every
Hmm.
single time, so we had a front row seat. But he was a top three quarterback, and he played decent last year. I actually kind of wanted the Broncos. I feel bad for them because they're struggling so bad, and I want someone to knock off the Chiefs. Do
Yeah,
I like Sean Payton? I like him. I remember him on Fox Sports. I kind of liked him being in interviews. I think he's definitely overrated as hell. Like he is so overrated.
yeah. It was
And
all Drew Brees.
The Broncos are kind of a mess because who is their starter now? I know they drafted
Bo Nix.
that's probably the best for them. But yeah, I'm
Hmm.
taking Russ, and I think again the Steelers, Mike Tomlin with the defense. I think that's a good match. But also Russell Wilson is such a wild card
He's a
because of
weirdo
like
too.
exactly his corny personality, but like no one even really knew about it when they were winning in Seattle. At least I didn't.
Yeah,
But what the fuck is that TikTok that he made? The really
unlimited.
oh my god, like I don't even know what that was.
Yeah,
And then high knees on the plane. It's almost like he wanted to prove that like the losing is not him. But you were literally playing so shitty that year. That wasn't last year, that was the year before.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
That's
Oh
fine
my.
because he did that with the Hawks, but it's very robotic. And again, I still think he's better than Justin Fields because like literally he's Hall of Fame fringe at one point. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's still gonna be a good case for him. He won a Super Bowl.
He's gonna be on the outside looking in because he only won one Super Bowl. If he didn't pass it on the goal line and ran it, he would be in Hall of Fame.
Is Marshawn Lynch a Hall of Famer?
Yes, absolutely. Different position.
If Russell Wilson makes an AFC championship game, like one more, is he a Hall of Famer at some point
No,
in his career?
got to win a title.
Two Super Bowls.
Yep, that's the only reason why Eli Manning's getting in. If he had one, he wouldn't get in.
I don't know. I think he's gonna get in.
Russ?
Yeah.
Nah, he's gonna be outside. He's gonna be like a McNabb type.
He already has a Super Bowl, and like his skill set during that time, again, he was a top three quarterback, best in the NFC. At times, he was the best. They made the Super Bowl twice. They won
Mm-hmm.
two NFC titles, one Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Now the defense was better. Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. Who am I forgetting? The Eagles signed him. The
Oh,
linebacker.
Walter Thurman,
No, I'm talking about the defensive line. Then he went to the
Cam
Cowboys. And
Chancellor.
no, the defensive line for the Seahawks. You're such an asshole.
Oh God, I don't even remember.
The one that like,
Uh,
what was he doing? Was he boxing or something? There was some contra. Like, I think he actually had domestic violence. Unfortunately,
yeah, something like that.
forget his name.
I think
Anyways,
so.
and obviously Marshawn Lynch.
Hmm.
But all right, Owen High, Drew Brees has one ring, is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Yes, because
Drew
Drew
Brees
Brees
was
broke
fucking
so many records.
incredible.
He broke so many records.
Drew Brees
And
was
honestly,
amazing.
he carried his team because what did they have? Marquise Colston, what was his name? Reggie Bush, like at times. They had that. I'm like so bad with remembering names. I feel like every other show I'm good and then bad.
Michael
They're
Thomas.
tight
Oh yeah,
later in
you were
his
talking.
career. I'm talking about the beginning of his
I
career.
think you were talking about Michael Bennett on the
Yeah,
Seahawks.
Michael Bennett. Like that
Yeah,
Seahawks defense was stacked. So that's the only
yeah,
reason why I
no.
couldn't see Russ getting in. But again, to me, he was one of the best quarterbacks for a 10-year stretch, and he
Yep.
won a Super Bowl, made another. So if he has one more great season, he's in for me. Especially like
Mhm.
coming back from being down so low, that would be a really good story. Is he capable of that? People don't like him, so that's another thing.
Yeah, I
And
despise
again,
him
we know
personally.
if the media doesn't like people like Terrell Owens, they're gonna fuck with you.
Yep.
Oh. And then what about the private office thing? Like it was just
Weird, man. It's so
like is he a
weird.
narcissist or just like stupid or like what is he?
Both. Both.
Like
Like
he
I
thinks
mean,
his shit doesn't stink or is he just
yep.
so out of touch?
No, he's just an asshole. Like he dates
Or is he trying to be
Sierra.
a leader? Is he trying to be a leader in his eyes? Like
No.
does he know he's being an asshole?
No, I think he thinks he's doing everything right when he's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, if it always worked before and they were always winning, why would you steer away from it? But we know
Apparently,
this. We know some
apparent.
Seahawks did not like him. We know this,
No, apparently Richard Sherman said they hated him.
but he was. Yeah, I mean, he was really good though. So I don't
I
know.
mean, but he wasn't the reason why they were winning. I mean, that Legion of Boom was ridiculous, and Marshawn Lynch was great.
Oh, but again, like we're doing this full circle, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. We didn't know that till years later that Richard Sherman and Russell Wilson didn't like each other. Like that was
Hmm.
kept completely in house. So that's the way it always should be to win.
Hmm.
Again, we just talked about Drew Brees. All right, so again, we started with I want to get back to the Eagles, but the AFC, who is going to challenge the Chiefs? That's how we got on this topic.
It's gonna be the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion.
Oh, you said that. For me, it's the
Hmm.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
I think Joe Burrow is a little forgotten about right now because of one injury, and that's
Mm.
the league right now. It's like it's so what have you done for me lately more than ever? Meanwhile, this guy actually beat Patrick Mahomes, and I think he's being a little bit disrespected. Last year, he did not play well when he played for the most part, but he was injured. And this Bengals team is really, really good. They still finished 9-8, I believe, with some random ass quarterback that they
Mm.
drafted late in the draft. Joe Burrow is such a confident human being. He literally gives no fucks like the fashion. He just fucking dyed his hair blonde, which I think looks horrible. Whatever the fuck. Remember Zach
Mm.
Ertz and Jason Kelsey did it,
Yeah.
but I mean, he kind of again. I don't know how you feel like this corny thing, like I'm him, like that whole like. But he's just putting in his own, like he's just becoming a new NFL player. Like you're changing the culture of the NFL. He's kind of almost like a TO type. Obviously, not exactly, but I think you get what I mean.
Yeah.
People gravitate towards that, and he's like, again, he's one of the best players in the NFL. He's going to remind people of that, and I think he's going to beat the Chiefs because there's no way the Chiefs make will this be 4 or 5 in a row. Four,
Four. Yeah.
like I don't, it can't
No, it'd be
happen. Like
three. It would be three in a row because they didn't make it the year before they beat us in the Super Bowl. So this would be one, two. Yeah, this would be three in a row.
but it would be 4 out of 5 that they made
Hmm.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
That's like all time history. Like that's
No.
rarely
Yep. 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 Hmm.
rarely ever been done. So
Yeah.
um so I think it's just the Bengals, maybe the Bills. I mean, any other team that I can see doing it, I'm really trying to think.
I have a hot take for you. I have a hot take. I'm gonna say this just because I want to be the only one to say it, and I truly believe that they can do it if they put everything together, getting a new head coach this year. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think that them getting Harbaugh, along with Justin Herbert, having Ladd McConkey in the draft from Georgia, and having just this whole new system put into place, if it works out, they could be a dark horse. That's my dark horse, the LA Chargers.
I like that. And I know Justin Herbert had a terrible head coach to start his
Hmm.
career. Terrible. But of course, Justin Herbert, not as so much now because, again, they haven't freaking won, but he was praised over the moon. Again, very talented guy. But for you not to, I think they made the playoffs once. For you not to be one of the best quarterbacks in terms of like at least go like 9-8 like
Hmm.
every year if you're like that good. Like even Trevor Lawrence does that. And I think the Chargers are more talented, even though Doug Peterson was a way better coach than I don't even remember his name. He was so irrelevant. I remember that Thursday night game they got blown out by the Raiders. Oh my god. That was
Garbage.
funny as hell. And then he was fired the next day. I don't know. I don't think Justin Herbert's ever gonna live up to the hype. I think Jim Harbaugh is definitely gonna help him, but I just don't like they're not going to beat the Chiefs. I've been a
I
Chargers
mean,
stand. I've been a
yeah,
Chargers stand since Philip Rivers. Like I
but
really
here's the
just
thing.
always be. I wanted them to beat the Chiefs. I always did, and they let me down every single time I picked
Yeah,
them.
but let's look at it this way. He made a bum like Colin Kaepernick look great. What do you think he's gonna make Herbert look great? Hey, what do you think he's gonna make Herbert look like? I mean, he
I
brought
agree.
Colin
But Kaepernick
Kaepernick
was
and
good. Kaepernick had
uh,
skill set
I mean,
as well.
he was good in the pistol. He got him to the Super Bowl. They almost came back in that Super Bowl, but that's because Harbaugh made him what he was. You know, Harbaugh is actually talking to Kaepernick to maybe be a coach because he knows how to coach these players up, and he thinks he's a good
That would be
leader. So I
that
mean,
would be funny. That would be funny.
yeah,
But again, the 49ers defense was so good with
yeah, huh,
Patrick Willis.
uh
Like it
huh,
was insane. And that kind of reminds me of like a Russell Wilson type thing. The
hmm.
Chargers defense is so overrated. Joey Bosa is probably one of the most, again, he's not really talking about that much
He's good.
anymore. Overrated. Like
He's good
very
though.
like they gave him like compared to his brother, unfortunately, there's a huge gap. Also he's pretty injury prone, and they're paying him a shit ton of money to be like a top five defensive end, and he's not.
Yeah, Nick Bosa is obviously a lot better than Joey Bosa, but he's still a good player.
Yeah, I guess you could say like again, Nick Bosa obviously capitalizing on his fame and recognition and all the things he had going on with like the Kim Kardashian skims and just he won defensive player of the year. Obviously he has a big social media following for like his physical appearance. And I know Joey Bosa is more like laid back.
Mm.
And also the 49ers just are a bigger market than the Chargers.
Well,
So
Joey Bosa is not maggot either.
I don't know what that means. You mean the
Let's
tweets? The
yeah,
tweets?
yeah, pretty much. But
I don't think again, I don't think what everyone thinks about that when they think of Nick Bosa now because he hasn't done that in a long time.
yeah, he stays away from it, but whatever.
As should every I mean they shouldn't,
No, you should
but
say
they
whatever you
should.
feel.
I mean, you're not
I'm
going to post your it's just too much controversy. You're not going to post it on social media.
a
Do what
big
you want in your
component of
personal life.
free
What?
speech. Free speech is fine with me. You can say whatever you want as long as it's not like too outlandish. I'm good with it.
I get that, but then again, when the kneeling like that was fucking freedom of fucking protest like but it
Yeah,
was
I get it.
judged
I get it.
100%. So it shouldn't have
I
been.
I get it.
We do have a comment. Heels, Giants, Phillies, Nets. That is a wild if those are your teams. They may just be a year away though. I think he's referring to the Chargers.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say that's more realistic, but again, I just don't see Justin Herbert ever living up to one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I
Mhm.
just don't see it. I don't know. Chargers are cursed.
Justin
San
Herbert's
Diego
fucking good, man.
You don't think the Chargers are cursed?
I mean, I think they're forgotten because they have the LA Rams in the same exact city. I don't think they're cursed.
They should have been bigger than the LA Rams because they were better than the Rams for so long in the 2000s. The
Yeah.
Rams came out of nowhere. San Diego lost the Chargers. They had Phillip Rivers. The Rams didn't have a quarterback for years and years and years. Like they had LT. They made one conference title game again. They did not lead up to expectations. At
No.
one point, I know there's not like that many Chargers fans. I feel like I always hear that, even though their colors are very popular. That's just a random thing. People love the powder blue jerseys, but they were a really like popular team, almost like not Cowboys level anywhere near that, but like they were just like a AFC, like if you're in a random city, you like the Chargers type thing. And again, I wanted them to be good for so long, and they let me down every single time. So, I mean, look at Detroit. I'm not saying that they can't turn it around, but I don't see it right now. Maybe in
Mm.
like 2 or 3 years, again, 9-8, but they're not going to beat the Chiefs. They're just not.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I
No one
disagree.
can. No one can beat the Chiefs. So
I disagree with it, and this is the reason why I'm saying that the NFL is a year-to-year league. You never know who's going to come out of the woodwork. If you have talent, if you have the right coach, and in a one-game elimination in the playoffs, anybody could beat anybody. It just is what it is, you know. And I honestly believe that if the Chargers put it together, they'll be that dark horse. I think they could get there.
now I don't know if you've seen, but the Chiefs have like zero wide receivers, like worse than ever.
Mm.
Even though they've done this before, like it's almost like again, Patrick Mahomes is. I think he's actually. I mean, he is better than Tom Brady physically, but the fact that he is winning with just Travis Kelsey, it kind of is Tom Brady like. But it's even more plug and play because the Patriots had Gronk, they had Julian Edelman, they had Wes Welker, they had decent running backs. Like they had people with talent. Chiefs people come out of nowhere. It's very like Andy Reid like. It's almost like Andy Reid's offense in Philly, where we had like Hank Paskett and Todd Pinkston and Reggie Brown. But Patrick Mahomes is making all these people just good.
Well, I
So
mean,
it's
they do have a Xavier Worthy out of Texas this year, who had a combine record for the 40-yard dash. So if they turn him into something, they could be dangerous again. Sure.
I mean, they're going to be dangerous. You mean at the receiver position?
Yes. Correct.
If they would have signed Tyreek Hill, that I wonder if they regret not doing that.
No,
Like
because they won
they
two
don't, they
Super
didn't
Bowls
need him.
without
They
him.
did not need it. Clearly, they didn't need him. But like I mean, they probably would have went 17-0 one of these seasons. Now I know
Maybe.
last season they struggled, but like, come on.
I mean, that's my definition of if you get into one game elimination, you could win the Super Bowl if you're just hot. Because this is the same exact team that lost to the Raiders at home, and they still won the Super Bowl. So I mean,
Shit
the
happened.
playoffs are a different animal.
Now, do you know what I should know this, but what did the Chiefs get for Tyreek Hill? Because he wasn't a free agent, right? They traded him.
I don't know what they got for him.
Like, did they
I
use
think
that pick for Chris Jones?
maybe. I don't really
I'm gonna,
remember.
I want to look that up real quick because in that case, it could have been worth it. And
Mm,
honestly, until the Eagles played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I didn't know how good Chris Jones was.
mm.
It was all about Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes. It still is. Of course, we learned about Chris Jones a lot because of that holdout last year. But I mean, he's like one of the best players in any, like, on the defensive side of the ball in the league.
Absolutely.
So now they have Patrick Mahomes and him. Like, he's not Aaron Donald, but like he's the next best thing. Is he the best D tackle in the league?
The best might be a stretch, but he's up there.
I want to find out about that Tyreek Hill thing, but we do have a couple more things to discuss. Are you more confident going into this year than last?
Uh, it's about I don't know. I think I was more confident last year just because I wanted to get back to the Super Bowl and we pretty much had the same exact team. So last year, I'll say I was more confident than this year.
For me, I this year I'm more excited. Like I told you last year, I feel like we didn't bring the heat and the energy from the fan base like we should have. Not
Yeah.
that that is really going to affect the team, but
Yeah.
like people didn't care as much.
No.
Another thing, this the Phillies were in the conference final game again. And
Yeah.
this is so random, but I just feel like that, like the Phillies are good now. It takes a little bit of away from the Eagles in the beginning of the season. Of course, I don't care about baseball or the Phillies.
Nah,
Like,
let's be honest here. The Phillies are frauds, so I mean, they're just gonna
but
fall
like
apart.
people they love it. Like, Philly fans
Yeah,
are invested in the Phillies when they're in the playoffs.
yeah, but they don't have dancing. They don't have that song "Dancing on My Own" anymore, so kind of washed out.
I agree. They're, again, look at them now. Like
Yeah,
they're just so up and down. Whatever. I'm not talking about the Phillies. Back to the Eagles. Again, I think this team is going to be more entertaining, more fun. We just expected like, all right, we're good now. Let's, we were just so like I don't even know, like mellow. And now this year, I think we're excited to see Saquon. We're excited to see Kellen Moore's offense and how this team responds.
right.
Last year, we were kind of bored, I would
Yeah,
say, or just we didn't have any fire.
I think the team just wanted to get back to the Super Bowl, and they realized it wasn't possible, so they just caved in.
And why wasn't it possible? Because they got blown out by the 49ers.
No, just because they didn't have it anymore. They didn't want it anymore. They quit. They were tired. Whatever it was.
They beat the Chiefs though.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs in a close game. I mean, but after
But
that,
so didn't Zach Wilson, did the Jet? No, it was the Bears that beat the Chiefs, right? Or
I
was it the
mean,
Jets?
yeah, I mean, San Fran just took their lunch money, and I think they just caved after that.
Yeah, I would say so. But also, the defense sucked. So, like, if your defense is terrible, like, I would have no confidence. Doesn't
No.
mean you should go 3-and-out, but like they were, and then the defense couldn't stop anything. Coordinators getting fired, but still here. There's AJ Brown controversy here. Like, it was just a complete meltdown, and it shouldn't have been. And again, worst collapse in NFL history, in my opinion, because they were the number one ranked team
Yeah.
in week 11, week 10. It's not like they were, again, buried and there's other better teams. It was them and the 49ers. But the
Mhm.
49ers had 2 losses. We had 1.
Right.
And then the entire landscape just, like, we were, like,
Shifted.
just fucking terrible. Like, literally fell down an avalanche. And there's no excuse for it. I guess we're going to go off a little bit more about this again. I still stand by that Nick Sirianni should have been fired. And the main reason is Kellen Moore will be a head coach, if not after this season, the next season. I'm like, what the fuck are we going to do? You're going to make Jalen Hurts learn another offense?
Uh-huh.
It's the weirdest thing. And if the Kellen Moore is bad, he still has to learn another offense. So it's like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in my honest opinion, Hurts is definitely going to be more valuable to the Eagles franchise than Nick Sirianni. We both know that. But in my honest opinion, if they miss the playoffs or they go one and done in the playoffs, I think they should both go. I think we should start all
No,
over again.
no,
I
not
truly
good.
believe it. I
No,
truly believe it.
come on.
I,
We can't do that.
it would suck, but I truly believe that
Hi, we gave
because
Carson Wentz money, and now we're giving we look like dumbasses. Like, why are we
Mhm.
doing this?
because it's business and it doesn't work.
No, Jalen Hurts is a pure talent. He came out of nowhere. And again, we have a great team around him. Only thing that's going to stop him is injuries. Now, last year was concerning. He could not read the field. It
Hmm.
was weird. He definitely, but again, was that contributed to injuries? Like the offense? I don't know. It's fucking
No,
weird. Like
it
they
was
really make
contributed. It was contributed to not wanting to throw AJ Brown the ball, so he looked one way and it
he
killed him.
he did. Like, what do you mean? AJ Brown set a record for
He
all those
set a record,
consecutive
but then
weeks.
shit happened and he stopped throwing his way.
But I'm
What do
saying
you want me to tell
he
you?
was still missing reads in like week 2 and in that Patriots game. Like, we know, like it started
Uh-huh.
from the beginning and it never really got any better.
Yep.
Um Also, we know that Nick Sirianni got better when he gave the play calling to Shane Steichen in 2021. He did that for a reason. We were 2-5 when he was calling the plays.
Hmm.
Now he hasn't called the plays since. So I think he should. Like, remember when Reed and Marty Morningweg or whoever, like they would kind of like flip flop? I think even during the same game. I'm not sure. I think that I don't know. I think Nick should have the opportunity to do that at some point this season. I don't think it's going to happen at all. But like, we need to know that this guy is good to go when this coordinator leaves. At least present it that way. Do you
Yeah,
agree?
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think like
Not
one of
going to
them.
happen.
I mean, I think they're somewhat being groomed for success, but at the same time, we have we have one coordinator that's going to be here probably 1 year if we have success, and we have one guy that's old as fuck that's going to retire at any moment. So I mean, I don't really know what the future holds when it comes to the coordinator position. I just hope this year we win the
Or you
Super
mean
Bowl
the
because
coordinator position? Coordinator,
yeah,
yeah, that's fine.
it's like what the fuck, It's like we're never consistent. So I don't know. I
No, and
it's
it's the current NFL. Like, I'm sure if we really dived into it, all these quarterbacks have probably learned a million other systems. Not
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes with Andy Reid, which makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
But you have to be versatile. You have to. But again, the best coaches: Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. They do it all. They win. They're offensive minded coaches. I also like Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings a lot. I think he's pretty underrated as far as like an offensive mind. They need to make Kellen Moore the head coach. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I think they need to miss the playoffs. I don't even know how this is the most unprecedented like it's never happened before. Like 3 playoff years and then you get like it's a bad look for the NFL overall for job security.
Hmm.
It's the one of the I think it's the most unique coaching situations ever. Besides firing Bill Belichick, someone that won that many goddamn Super Bowls, and maybe like Tom Landry from the Cowboys back then, but no one remembers that shit. Speaking of Bill Belichick, is he a candidate?
Yeah, you could be.
If that sounds bad.
Hmm.
Now, I don't fucking know. I think he's like senile. I don't know what the fuck's up with him dating that fucking 20-year-old,
24
however
year
old
old.
she is.
Yeah, it's
I
gross.
I am like kind of like concerned. I don't know. Like she's of age, she's not a minor,
Fucking
but
gross.
like what the fuck is that about? Like is he like okay?
It's gross. I mean, what do you want me to say
Is
about
that
it? I
someone
mean,
that you want running your team?
yeah, it's fine. I mean, his coaching's fine. I just don't. I would never go to him for life advice. It's
Yeah,
just.
it's giving who was that Jaguars coach that was fucking terrible from college? Oh my god, he was kicking fucking kickers and
I don't even
um
remember, but I know who you're talking about.
the team playing like he stayed and was fucking grinding on girls and oh
Oh, Urban
god.
Meyer. Urban Meyer.
I cannot imagine because I think I follow his daughter on Instagram. Could you imagine? Like there was TikToks and videos of your dad grinding on these. That's just tough, man. It's almost like
Yeah, I remember. They
The
lost
Vince
to
McMahon
Cincinnati.
situation almost.
They lost to Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football. He stayed behind. He didn't go back with the team. He stayed behind to go to the Cincinnati bars. And someone took a video of him grinding on some college chick. It was fucking wild, man.
And like, what are the players thinking on the plane? Like, where the fuck is our head coach?
He was probably fired after the game. They just didn't say anything.
Like, they didn't actually fire him, you mean?
No, I think they fired him after the game, but it wasn't reported till later.
I think I don't know if he was fired then. I thought he like no, I think he like was fired maybe like the last week of the season. I don't remember.
No, he was fired mid-season for sure.
I'm gonna look. Oh, actually, all right, we all have to like look up, and we're almost out of time. But I want to look up the Tyreek Hill trade, or was that whatever that one was? Just curious here. 21. Chiefs did trade him for a 2022 first round pick, 22 second round pick, two fourth round picks, and a 2023 sixth round pick.
It's not
And I
bad.
want to know who the Chiefs took in 2022 with that first round pick from the Dolphins. Do you think it's Chris Jones?
No, they definitely took a wide receiver there.
What's going on, Philly Bowl?
It was no, it was either a wide receiver or you know who they took? They took Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers.
So they traded that pick to New England. I don't even know. Their first round pick was Trent McDuffie. I don't even
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
No,
So that
they ended up getting Isaiah Rogers in like a diamond in the rough. Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot he went to Rutgers.
Yep.
Sky Moore was a second round pick. I mean, he helped
Ugh,
them win a Super Bowl, but I don't think he's a second
sucks.
round pick talent.
What's up,
And then
Philly?
this guy was a bust. George Karlovist.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. So look, yeah, everyone has busts. We know Angie Reid isn't even the best at drafting.
Yeah, neither is Howie.
16.5 sacks in 2 years. Guess that's not terrible. Anyways, moving on from that, what were we just talking about before? And Philly Bowl, I feel bad you're joining a little late, but of course, this podcast is uploaded to YouTube almost like right after the show. Kyle gets that up, the recording version. And of course, in the future, we want to do like just audio recordings to be released on several like Apple Podcasts, so on and so forth, which will be really cool just to be able to listen to the audio version if you can't
Right.
join in live. What was I just wanted to look up besides the Chiefs Tyreek Hill thing?
You were going to look up what they got back for that, and
Oh, I was gonna look up when Urban Meyer got fired.
yeah, mid-season for sure.
Yeah, I already said what the Chiefs got back for Tyreek.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this guy was just such an asshole. And you know what it is? He's so insecure because he's a fucking baby, Urban Meyer. So he treats everyone else like they're a baby to like kind of like hide who he is.
Yeah, pretty much.
This guy, he was fired 13 games in. So it wasn't right. So it wasn't right after that.
Yeah.
That Thursday night game.
2-11.
2-11. He's such an interesting story. It's freaking sad. He
2-11.
kicked the punt. He kicked the punter.
Word.
Kicked the punter in training camp. There was a situation with a running back or Trevor Lawrence. There was a fucking weird relationship there. Obviously, the plane not going on the plane. What else? I want to look up because like he's a fucking weirdo.
And you know what's crazy about Urban Meyer? We're talking about him like he's a joke, but this guy has 2 national titles in college. It's wild. No, wait, 3.
But
Yes, 3. 3 national titles.
But this didn't impact his reputation or legacy at all.
Of course it did. It's the last thing people remember him by.
And it's not like a Nick Saban, obviously, because that was in the middle of his career, and it's not like Nick Saban wasn't like he went 9-7. He didn't go 2-11.
Well, also Nick Saban didn't make the same poor decision twice. Like he went to the Miami Dolphins and knew his style didn't work in the NFL, so he took the Bama job and went there for like 15 years or however long it was.
All right, so that was in October. The video, Urban Meyer was touching a woman who was not his wife at a Columbus area restaurant. And back in July 1st, 21, he was fined $100,000 for violating practice rules during organized team activities.
Good guy.
Coaches and players were critical of him. Here's the fucking kicker. Josh Lambo publicly accused Meyer of physical abuse, saying he kicked him. Excusable. Lambo said Meyer responded, "I'm the head ball coach. I'll kick you whenever the F I want." Shad Khan made the decision to fire him. That was like right after that came out. So yeah, just such a shitty human being again. Very like insecure. Probably was just so like nervous for being a head coach in the NFL and like so unprepared and such like a narcissist and like the ego off the fucking chains, my way or the highway. Honestly, I hate saying this, but worse than Chip Kelly. Like
I mean, Chip Kelly wasn't bad. He just like didn't work here. You know, he had 3 plays.
But he made the black players feel a certain way, and you cannot do that ever in life, but especially as an NFL head coach, like they should not be picking up. He had an assistant deliver his message to a lot of the players, black players, whatever you want to say.
Mhm.
from him.
Right.
Weird. Very, very weird. All
Both
right,
are
last
weird.
topic of the day, I believe, before we get out of here. This is like a small little nugget that I heard during a Hurts interview at training camp a few weeks ago. Jalen Hurts shared that Jeffery Lurie told him not to golf during a press conference. Like he said during training camp. So why I find this interesting is that, first of all, I think Jeffery Lurie is a great owner. Obviously, I hold him in a higher regard now that he has a Super Bowl. But this guy obviously cares a lot, and he's kind of like a relatable billionaire, which is
Mhm.
so crazy. I don't know if just because I do agree with him more like politically and just like the stuff that he does, the autism, the Eagles during Pride Month, and like all that type of stuff. And again, that's very still new for the NFL. And he's one of the trailblazers, bringing in Michael Vick. His first hire as a head coach, was a black head coach. Not to get like all that type of stuff, but it does mean something.
Mhm.
He talks to the players. He has a relationship with them. I feel like they like him. And
Yeah.
that's so important. They want to play for him. And it's also like he's kind of down to earth and knows about like shit. Like some of these billionaires are so fucking old on their deathbed. They don't know what their quarterback's doing. Like
Yeah.
they don't even think about it. They're like, I'm a rich ass man. This is the guy playing quarterback. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just
Yeah.
try and sell tickets. Would you agree that like that little nugget is like kind of cool that Jeffrey Lurie is like it's a blessing and a curse that he's that hands on, but again, they have had success recently.
I just like when he went from being a very nice guy to saying, "Oh, he's such a trailblazer. He did this, this, and this," to saying, "But these guys are such pieces of shit, and they didn't do anything for their quarterback." I thought that was a great transition right there. It was like, it was like the best 30 seconds ever. I
What
was
did I
like,
just
baby,
say it? Or who are you talking about?
you like you credited Jeffrey Lurie for like 15 seconds, and then the last 15 seconds was you explaining how terrible the other billionaires are and how much they suck at life.
I mean, is it not the truth, right?
I mean, if they're a team, I mean, I guess that's up to them, but I don't know. I don't know their personal life or anything, but I'm not sure.
Like, do you think this is like not noteworthy or like I don't know?
I mean, I think in 2024 you're allowed to be whoever you want to be, and I think if people have a problem with it, that's their own problem.
No, I'm saying
Um,
like, do you think it's noteworthy that like Jeffrey Lurie said like no golf to Jalen Hurts or like didn't
um,
want him to play golf
Yeah,
like
I
during?
do because it's like, why are you telling someone that everyone like I could do in 15 minutes when I get off the show when I could play golf? Why are you telling him he can't play golf? Like if you injure yourself playing golf, you're just injury prone. Like golf is like the most like
We know shit happens with these athletes. You
yeah,
think it
but
wouldn't?
old golf is an old man sport. You play it when you're old.
But like
So
it was
it's
like Jalen Hurts was laughing. He like so I think Jeffrey Lurie is also a great communicator, and it came off in like a caring way, like you're my guy, like
Mhm.
I'll give you the world. I want to protect you at all. Like I think that's more of what it was, and then like the golf thing was kind of like a joking comment, like oh don't play golf, but like after that, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. It's not like Hurts
Mhm.
was like he told me not to play golf and like blah blah blah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Jeffrey Lurie. I wish again, owners shouldn't talk. I'm not asking for a fucking crazy Jerry Jones who like literally is the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. They're kind of like a mess with their three big players. I don't even know. We're going to talk about that probably next week or whenever someone gets signed. But like Jeffrey Lurie's involved. He talks once a year. I would like him to talk before the season. I think that would just be cool.
I
I
would
don't
like him to talk never because see, here's the thing, and I understand you like him, but owners don't always have to talk. They just put things
No,
in
they
motion
don't.
and that's
They
it.
don't. They don't. Then it's
But
better that they don't.
but like when he talks, like he always uses the word between sentences and words, and I'm like, if you say the word that means that you can't talk and you shouldn't talk. So he should never talk because if you look at one of his press conferences, you would pick up on it and you get annoyed quickly. Like, I mean,
I don't
quickly.
know. I disagree. I mean, maybe but like, look at Sirianni talk. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
I mean, Nick
I
Sirianni doesn't. I'd rather have Nick Sirianni talk about the stupid plans than say this, that. It's just so annoying.
I don't know. You got to crop a fucking video or send me one where he's
I'll
saying
send you
that.
a whole press conference when he fired Chip Kelly. It was like, Chip Kelly
All right,
was great.
watch the one from last year. Did you watch the one from this past year when
I
it was
try
just him?
not to. I don't think I
No,
remember it.
it was good because I think Jeffrey Lurie, he gives you an inside take on the organization, and I don't know, everything sounds good to me. It's like I would want to work for this guy. That's
Hmm.
what I mean. Like it sounds like he fucking cares. Again, they do that autism run walk every year. I feel like they take care of their people. Obviously, I don't fucking know for the most part, and of course, they charge us a foot and a leg for parking, but they do let us tailgate like we do, and they probably could have banned that a long ass time ago if they
Hmm.
wanted to. So I do respect that. And people make a goddamn fucking mess everywhere. Not saying that probably doesn't happen at every stadium.
Well, that's why they do charge an arm and a leg to tailgate, because they know you're gonna make a mess.
You mean to park or just to get
Yeah.
your ticket?
Not a park. That's why they charge $50, whatever it is now, because they know you're gonna make a mess.
Yeah, of course, if you live in the city, you're not gonna. I mean, whatever. We're both from Jersey. You're not gonna
Hmm.
like drive if you live in the city, but we know that Ubers in that area is a fucking problem. I know there's like that one parking lot that apparently you can get Uber service from, but like I've been stranded there for hours, and I know you
Yeah.
have been too. Like it's fucking. That's the only advantage if the Sixers stadium gets moved. I know the traffic and everything. But like, if there's a concert or another game or something like an Xfinity Live, fucking some shit, like you will be literally trapped there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's like I don't know. What do you think they
Well,
can do if fix that?
well, at least now you have you have that casino Philly Live to lose your money at. So I mean, you have that.
That's somewhere to walk. It's kind of a little. It's not that quick of a walk there though from the link.
It's like a half mile.
Yeah, it's not like it's Xfinity Live, but I mean, I
Hmm.
don't know. It's also like there needs to be more restaurants like around there. I feel like there's just a lot of like open space that makes it feel like you're in the middle of the nowhere and you're actually really stranded
Yeah.
because you have like Chicky and Pete's, but you have to walk down like a major market or no Broad Street, and it's like kind of like not nice.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
I think Chickies and Pete's is a good spot if you want to watch the game, but their food kind of sucks. Like, no offense.
I'm just saying, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying walking there, like you can't get an Uber there, but it's not a
Yeah.
far walk. But people need to say it's literally like you're in a parking lot, like all
Uh-huh.
those stadiums and like not in like the highways.
Hmm.
So they need to invest in that, but the Sixers plan is happening, right? Apparently.
It's in flux right now. Like they were supposed to go to the fashion district in Center City. They
Mhm.
didn't want to do that because of the whole SEPTA nightmare. The SEPTA is
Who,
dangerous at night.
who didn't want to do
Um,
that?
they just axed it because they listened to the fans. The fans say that the SEPTA is dangerous right now. Until you clean it up, you can't really take SEPTA there. And they're talking about moving it to Camden
Wait,
now.
did they
So
just announce that? Because I thought it was like signed into like it's happening no matter
no, they're
what.
not doing it. They're trying to find another area because I'm a
I
season
think
ticket
I
holder.
don't know. I was like, I understand both sides, but the thing I feel bad about is like destroying Chinatown and
Mhm.
all those businesses and people that live in those apartments. That's fucking terrible. But if that wasn't the case, I think it would actually be really cool. I know you're not the biggest fan of Center City and kind of like the culture and like, unfortunately things that go on there.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
I'll tell
haven't
you.
been
All right, so
around. When's the last time you
so
were in
I'll
Center City?
I'll tell you guys a quick story. So we just came out of a club. It was me and my friend AJ, and we were going to get a lift because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's when all the homeless people show up and the drug addicts and all that stuff. And we were going to find the Lyft or Uber or whatever it was. And all of a sudden, this lady was like, "Stop filming me." My friend was on the phone, wasn't even filming her. She's like, "Stop filming me," and she slaps him in the face like as hard as she possibly could. And from that point forward, I was like, "Yeah, these bitches are crazy. We're not coming here again at 3 o'clock in the morning." And we kind of not been there since.
2 comments. I will admit, like, Philly is rough, but, like, that's the kind of the way that they, like, want it, and, like, that's their
Mhm.
reputation, and sometimes we like that at sporting events.
Yeah.
Number 2, Jim Kenney was the worst mayor in the fucking city's history
Yeah, he's
by
pretty.
far. He literally said, what was it? I'm gonna hide in the fucking suburbs, or like I can't wait not to be mayor anymore.
Yep.
That is a goddamn disgrace. I don't know why he wasn't impeached by whoever at that point.
Mhm.
And I am a fan of Charlene Parker a lot more. Again, I haven't been in Center City since the fall, and I'm moving back to Philly tomorrow, not to Center City, to the Roxborough Manioc area. But I'm
Mhm.
interested to see the changes. Again, there's going to be a long way to go because he let the city go to fucking shit. Like, so bad. It was like, it's really a disgrace. I'm not someone that like was scared of the city because I lived there. I don't know. I never felt unsafe, but the
Mhm.
shit that was happening, like, there was just nothing. No rules. No one gave a fuck. They don't have respect for people's property. That's the
Yeah.
main thing. Like, people's cars, anything. Like, just no respect. Again, we're not going to get into politics with the looting, different stuff like that. I'm just talking about the regular everyday. Like, if you fucking run into someone's car or knock their fucking side mirror off, it's like, just keep going. It's fucking hanging. Like, you're a piece of shit. I know it's
Mhm.
hard to drive in the city, but you just don't give a fuck. Like, I don't think that happens everywhere. Like, they don't give a
Um.
fuck.
Well, the huge democratic cities it tends to happen to more. I mean, just they're just not ran well. I know you didn't want to say politics or whatever, but it just seems like a common theme with San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Philly. It's just are all the same. They're all raked with shit. They have people crapping on the streets. They all smell horrible. There's needles all over the grounds. I mean, it's just a common theme, and the shit has to get fixed. So.
Now, I actually used to like understand that argument, but these smaller conservative cities are the exact same way. Like, if you look at I think there's a lot of like in the Carolinas,
Mhm.
um, Austin, Texas, Georgia, like Savannah,
Austin's
like
Austin's Democratic.
what's the ones? I gotta look up the fucking ones in North Carolina, like Savannah. Like, I don't know what I'm just
Savannah.
saying. There is always a terrible, a low income place. There's crime. Like, it happens in every city. So I
Hmm.
just, I really don't, it's both. It's like it's
Hmm.
not like, one's totally better than the other. We hear about the democratic cities more because they're more populated and they're just major cities
Hmm.
that everyone
I
has
just
been
don't
to.
like and I said I wasn't gonna get political, but I just don't like when people from big cities tell other people how to live. I just don't like that.
I mean, you're in the again, I don't agree because that's where the new ideas come from. They're the
Hmm.
universities. I feel like the cities like control Twitter and like that, like the pulse on Twitter because they're being themselves. And like, I don't know, like everyone in the suburbs, especially like if you go to like the West and like these farm rural areas that are just so stuck at like 20, 30 years ago. I don't know. They're not telling you how to live, but again, I living in the city coming back, it was a huge culture shock. And it's just like, wow, people still act this way or have this opinion. And in the city, it's just everyone like thinks the same way. And there's no social issues. There's like fucking ticket issues or like things to do with money or trash. But like, there's
Hmm.
no, you know, violence because of like I don't like you or like
Hmm.
so that's why I mean you're entitled to your own opinion for
Of
sure.
course, that's what makes
Like
America
like
great.
like if you look up like Raleigh, Greensboro, I'm looking up conservative cities, Chapel Hill, like they all have what you said. You just don't hear
Hmm.
about it because it's small.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm
Fair
sure
enough.
there's some like again obviously even like I feel like Seattle and it's like a beautiful
It's
place.
bad. It's bad, man. My cousin Carl just went to Seattle. He said it smelled like piss everywhere he went.
All right, Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't know if that's conservative. I don't know, but I know I've been there.
Charlottesville is I think conservative. I'm not sure,
All
but
right,
whatever.
let me look up conservative cities in the U.S.
Sorry guys for talking about this stuff, but makes for conversation, I guess.
And it is, I mean, again, me and Kyle obviously do not see eye to eye on this, even though
No.
Kyle does agree with a lot of like what my pushback just about,
Hmm.
you know, social things. Like he understands it.
I think
But
this
we're
is the
civil.
example here. So I think this is the example here. So why we're talking about all this stuff right now is because we have completely different views on outside world stuff, but we still get along. Like
It
people
is
can still
healthy.
get along.
Yeah, it is healthy.
Yeah.
And it's because I value you as a person and a friend and I respect your opinion. And I know that you are not trying to like turn or like, you're not trying to like make me like
No.
have your opinion and I'm not trying to make you have mine.
Hmm.
But other people like in our and also like I think we're both truly like independent at the end of the day.
I'm rare. Let's just put it that way.
Like that's who I am. I mean, I'm considering myself more of a less leftist because
Hmm.
I believe the Democratic Party is still like um moderately left. Like they are
Hmm.
more like again, I'm extreme. I want there to be 5, 6 different parties. I want there to be free healthcare. I want people to be treated like not like if you should not be like thrown out on the street. Like
Hmm.
you should feed your people. You're not going to like take money away from them or there's food stamps, public housing, like people can't survive and maybe someone
Hmm.
makes a little bit more than that literally still is living paycheck to paycheck and they have to literally eat McDonald's or ramen every single night.
Hey, what's
like
wrong with that?
like I said, food, we should get some type of like reimbursement or something. Like food is a human right, especially if we're the greatest country ever. All right, we're like that's just my opinion. But again, I think this is healthy, our dynamic with politics.
Hmm.
But I do think that if we were very diehard and acted like the rest of the parties, again, I'm not a Democrat, and again, I still think you're more independent than conservative or Republican. They would have a problem with us coexisting.
Hmm.
Both
Probably.
sides, both
Yeah.
sides, right?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. They don't like that. They like to see extremists on camera on both sides. Like that's what they like because they like to see everything blow up in your face. That's what they like. But
But I also think that we're both like non-confrontational people. I mean, I think we both seen each other pretty mad. I will say, I think I've seen you a little bit more mad than me, maybe just a tad. But I don't know. Like, ideally, you don't want to if you're provoked, you are gonna, fight back. But that's not like who you are. But you're
no,
not afraid to be that way. You wish you didn't have to ever do that, but you do have to do it a decent amount, right?
yeah, because you got to know your boundaries, and people unfortunately get into your personal space a little bit too much, and you just got to step back and say, "Yo, back the fuck up," and then that's it.
And I also think it's because like you care and like, we're both sensitive. Like we both we both are just like good people, good friends. Like if you didn't care, like it wouldn't be so close to the best. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Type
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
it is what it is. All right, the conservatives gotta go. Gainesville, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi. Prototypes. What is the reddest city in America?
It would be the one in
Rexburg.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
All right. Kansas City is heavily Democratic in the South and East, but tends to be more Republican leaning in the North. 50 best conservative places to live. I don't know. Conservative cities. All right. We got to bounce out here, but I just want to go over. There's only 12. The Woodlands. Again, I don't even know. Waco, Texas sounds familiar. I mean, obviously, any city in Texas. Oklahoma City. So
But yeah, but here's the thing with here's the
I would like to do some research.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing with conservative cities. They're not going to tell you how to live because they're too busy running away from tornadoes. So it's like I feel like leftists have nothing better to do than to complain 24/7, and then conservatives are the nice people because, they're worried about their home getting destroyed than your life. So I mean, it's just one of those common medium that like being in the middle, I guess, is the best way to go. But I don't know. I don't really care.
I think both parties subconsciously try and tell you how to live no matter where you are, just from looking at your phone or the TV. But my point is that all cities, Waco, dude, I cannot pronounce for shit.
Not wacko.
I was saying both cities have those shady income areas. They have,
Mhm,
unfortunately, homeless people. They have trash. They have
mhm.
crime. It's not just the democratic liberal cities that experience that. Again, you only hear about that because no one talks about Jackson, Mississippi or Waco. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. This was a
You're
fun
laughing
show.
at you're laughing at him fucking making fun of that how I fucking pronounced it.
Yeah, that was
That.
funny. No, no, I'm actually laughing at like we were coming back from Vegas. We had to stop in Chicago for gas. We actually had to stay overnight because the plane like, couldn't come into Philly because it was storming. And my friend Kyle, ironically enough, says to the guy that's giving us the room, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just worried about the gunshots here," and he's like, "I'm well, Philly's not much better," and I don't know. That's what I was laughing at.
No, I agree. Like, really went through a dark period, but nothing lasts forever. It's not like the city's gonna be burned to the ground. It's not gonna be fucking Camden, New Jersey,
Mm.
or that city in California, that town. I
Compton,
forget. It was like a
Compton.
popular. Yeah, it's like the city has millions and millions and millions of dollars. It might be. They might. I don't know. They might have a fucking billion. I don't even know. But I don't know. There's gonna be change, and it's a shame because Philly is fun and could be great. It just needs to be cleaned the fuck up.
Hmm.
And it's such a diverse city because South Philly is very conservative. I would say that's the only really part that's conservative besides some rich suburbs that aren't far from the city.
Mm.
But I don't know. I think it's that like it has the reputation that it does, but sports are so fun there. But it's kind of like a gutter rat as far as it like being nice. Like there's so many areas that need to be cleaned up and redone that have been neglected and that fucking
Mm.
shouldn't have been. And then we're worried about building a Sixers stadium instead of fucking, cleaning up the fucking city and
Yeah,
like just
exactly.
building new shit.
That just
So,
shows you where the priorities are at.
but
But
again, my final note is if the conservative cities were bigger, they would have the exact same problems too. They just have them on a smaller scale because
I
more
mean,
people
I
would
think
live
it's.
there. It would be this exact.
I also think it's more of a drug problem than anything. But nor here nor there. This was a good show. It was a really good show.
And there's drugs. There's drugs. Too. No, it was great.
Yeah, it's a fun show. It was really eye opening a
We
lot of
are
the stuff. But yeah, guys, we have to get out of here. This was our longest show of the season thus far. Thank you guys for tuning in for our 20th episode, Fly Like an Eagle podcast. We'll be back next Friday to wrap up preseason game number 3 and get ready for the season to start. Cannot wait. Hopefully it goes better than last year. But hey, week by week, let's bring it and we'll be back. And
absolutely.
Scotty, anything else you want to say?
Like I said, we're getting close to the season. Obviously we're gonna have a huge show. Obviously, we do Friday shows and then Brazil later that night. It's gonna be crazy. Definitely
Mhm.
do something special for that show. Maybe have like a guest on, some type of hype. We're gonna do a little something, a little treat for you guys. And then we possibly will go live after the game. If not, definitely Monday we're gonna be doing shows as well. We're gonna probably announce that within the next 2 weeks and really nail down a schedule because I think you guys would definitely like to see our post game reaction, even if it's at fucking 12 a.m. Or whatever time because we're Eagles fans. We react good or bad, but like we definitely, if it's bad,
Yeah.
we need an
Oh,
outlet to
we're
go to,
yeah,
100%.
we're 100%
So stay
gonna
tuned,
react.
everyone. We got the last
Yeah.
preseason game next week.
Yeah, we're 100% gonna react to the Brazil game for
Go ahead.
sure. And I'll probably be down at LBI, but I'll find the time to
Like
just
right after,
react to
like
it.
right after you want to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it works for you,
Like you
definitely.
want to do a show or just like a So you
No, we'll
want to do
just
like a
do
quick like 30-minute show or something?
no, or we could do like a quick StreamYard 5 minutes just reacting to it, and that's it.
Yeah, or even like go live on YouTube with
Hmm.
like, record our screen or something. You know what I mean? I think that would be cool, like a
That would be
FaceTime,
cool.
but we will figure it out. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely put it in on our Facebook page, message us on X. You can also go to Kyle's X account. My
Yeah.
Instagram is at Scott Bowl. That's two T's in Scott, Boul. And like I said, that Instagram page for Fly Like an Eagles podcast is definitely coming. Any suggestions? We'd love to hear it. Thank you, Philly Bowl Entertainment. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Go
My
Birds.
so my X account is at birdsfan 1992. Again, at birdsfan 1992. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, go to Facebook, look up Fly Like an Eagle podcast, like that page, share it around, and we're live on every platform, so we'll be here
And
every single week.
send a
Yeah,
super chat. We actually we got one before. Like it's so cool that you guys would even do that.
that
Obviously
is really cool.
our goal is to grow this as big as possible. I think me and
Mhm.
Kyle have great chemistry, big personalities, a lot of different opinions. And who we are as people is very unique because we're so
Mhm.
educated on sports and we come from different backgrounds, different lifestyles. But you
Mhm.
guys relate to us. So it's awesome both ways. So I
Yep.
appreciate you guys being here from the beginning because we're just getting started.
Correct. But pretty much that's it. I'm off to a birthday party, and let's go birds.
And I'm off to work. Have a good weekend, guys.
See you guys.